Hi everybody, this is the 6th chapter of the All Our Hidden Gifts. I've pre-recorded a little video so that you can watch some of the cards that I've done reviews on, so you don't have to look at me. Okay, so this is chapter 6. I had hoped that my ability to memorize the tarot cards would spell a breakthrough for my memory, generally, and that school would get easier. It doesn't, but school suddenly gets a lot more bearable when my whole day is arranged around tarot readings. People have gone nuts for them. Morning and lunch are spent in the chuki now, and notes are constantly being passed to me and Fiona to make appointments. I put my new crystals on the shelves of the chuki, and even though I'm pretty sure that the lady in definition was being overly cautious with her whole energy thing, I still burn my incense after every reading. I go a little heavy on it because by 3 p.m. all the teachers are complaining about the smell rising up from the building, but no one rats on the Chucky card tarot consultancy. In other words, splits on them, tells where it comes from. Even people who aren't that interested in the tarot are in love with the fact that we, as a year, have a secret, something that sets us apart. Fiona runs the appointment book with an iron fist, never letting anyone skip the queue or bargain their way into a better time slot. She always keeps 10 minutes for herself at the end of the day. I don't even tell her much. We draw cards, but she mostly just lies on the floor and tells me how she's going to study drama in Trinity, but that there are only 17 places a year, and how she has to get in. But despite all that, I like Fiona. She always does brilliantly in exams, but never makes a fuss about it. And she's not a lick ass, a bottom kisser, in other words, with the teachers either, and she doesn't bother herself with gossip like everyone else does. Most of the girls who come in for a reading have an exact same questions. What their best friend is thinking and what their best friend is saying. Moira Finch and Grace Atlet have both been in 3 times, just to set the record straight on why exactly they are no longer speaking to one another. Some girls have incredibly been readings, and they still leave the chuki weeping and shaking. It's all show, of course. Everyone wants to be the one who's had the life-changing future telling. You'll never believe it, really. Fiona's on the floor again, rubbing a piece of orange tipped calcite between her hands. My older brother's a doctor. He lives in Boston. She groans. My mum thinks acting is for egomaniacs. Big heads, in other words. But of my brothers are 18. Both my brothers are engineers. I sympathize. Sorry, that was my mistake. I sympathize with my sister Abby, works for the EU in Belgium. Now one can believe that I can't pass Italian. Ugh, that sucks. Who cares about Italian? I know, right? I say, relieved to hear her say that as well. We should all be learning Spanish. They speak Spanish in most LA, you know, and there's a lot of Spanish words in Tagalog. I don't know what Tagalog is. Really? You see, that's exactly my point. We are friends, kind of. I think it is hard to say. Things get complicated, however, when tarot time bleeds into the class time. The girls I can't fit in during my lunchtime sessions start dropping by my desk between lessons. Mr. Bernard is always 5 or 10 minutes late, and people take full advantage of this. They crowd around me, pleading for a reading. It's better if we do it in private, I say, hesitant at the gaping audience of girls, too cheap to pay for a reading, or too spooky to go into the chuki alone. It's supposed to be a private thing. I don't mind, Rebecca Hines says gamely. People can't watch, but I need to. You know, conserve my energy. It's time I'm beginning to keep what the definition lady was saying. I miss my aimless old lunch breaks, listening to Michelle talking about nose contouring. I'm starting to feel heavy at the end of every day now. I get home and don't watch Raya Silver videos anymore. 2 days in a row I fall asleep on my bed in my school uniform until Mum calls me for dinner. But I still give the readings. It's hard to say no, and that is exactly the way I feel, and it does take a lot out of you. And I had that as well when I was at school. People used to use me just to get a reading, and you can't say no, but it takes a lot out of you. Anyway, get back to the story. But still give the readings. It's hard to say no. I don't want people to think that I have ideas above my station. Wow, this is so coming home. Just because I have a deck of cards now, I have to stay nice, stay likable, stay funny, with my grades looking the way they do. Being funny is the only thing that keeps people interested in me at all. Well, I didn't even care whether people were interested. They wanted them to be my friend, for who I am not because of the cards or what I could do. So when I give my classroom readings, I ham it up a bit. I play to the crowd. Lovers, the lovers, I say, as if the words were fresh strawberries. Now this is an interesting card. It's about love, Rebecca Haynes says, all excited. The girls crowded around, exchanged giggles and nudges. The only girl not peering to see the reading is Lily. I glance at her through the clutter of heads and shoulders and watch her hand reach to her hearing aid. Is she turning it off? It is about love, I say to Rebecca, though that's not strictly true. The lovers is more about finding harmony between two opposing forces than proper romantic love. But who wants to hear that? You are going to meet your soulmate, I say. When? Where? How? I stick out the deck to face her. Ask the cards. Ask them. Ask them who your soulmate is. I see Fiona's face from across the room. She's more annoyed by people abusing the tarot than me. She rolls her eyes at me and picks up her phone. My WhatsApp beeps. I look down at it quickly, the screen half shielded by my pocket. Now I think she's cheating here with Fiona. Hamming it up much? I grin and decide to ham it up even more. Rebecca, you have to ask the cards with an open heart. Ask them who your soulmate is. Who is my soulmate? Poor stupid Rebecca Hines asked the cards. Louder! Who's my soulmate? The forces of magic can't hear you, Rebecca. Who is my bloody soulmate? She yells. She yanks the card from the deck. It's the devil card. Satan, I shout, trying to look afraid. Your soulmate is Satan. At that moment, Mr. Bernard walks into the room, and the whole circle gathered around me screams in sudden panic. What? What's all this? What's going on here? Maeve, I sneak my cards away. Nothing, sir, I say sweetly. Adiano, something like my friend, he commands, gesturing everyone back to their seats. I'm sorry about that Italian. I couldn't read it. Okay, that is it for today.